Radio. I am filling in for Stacy J, my girl, and Rob Minger tonight. Rob Minger is working with the NFL tonight, and guess where Stacy is? She's out there with Kings, the Yahweh King, and his kingship hails out of territories in the regions of Mankessen. And Shanae, I'm sure you can relate to this. Traditional area and Ghana, Kawayako, Central Region, Ghana.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes, and I have my special guest tonight, special guest host Shanae Norvell, fitness expert. So glad to have you here. So glad you could fill in at the last minute. Thank you so much. And I will say, Stacy J and Rob Minger, we will do you good service tonight.
That's right.
Super excited. So typically on my Thursday is typically like the third or fourth Thursday of the month. We talk about reinventing your life over 40. That's my segment with Stacy J and Rob Minger. And we just talk about what it's like to be over 40 and reinventing your life after who knows what you've been through by the time you get to 40 years old, right? I mean, that's quite a while to be here. Quite a few life experiences, ups and downs, the good, bad, and the ugly, right? So tonight, we're actually going to talk about the do-over with my special guest, Shanae Norvell. I have a few special questions for you, but first of all, I have a question of the day. And Shanae, I would love for you to ask that question of the day.
Yes. So the question of the day is, how do you start over in a career when you spent 20 years in a trade, a career, something you're passionate about, and then you wake up one day and you're like, I'm ready to change completely. How do you make that shift when it's a career that's non-related to what you've done, but that passion deep inside says, I can do it. So how do you make that switch at 40 versus 24 or over 40?
Yeah, that's pretty deep, Shanae. I couldn't relate. I couldn't even imagine doing anything outside of the beauty industry. And this is for me personally. Now, for me, I have, some evolving areas in my industry. For instance, I went from being a hairstylist to a certified image consultant to, a certified life coach, which, I felt like just evolved within the career I was already in, serving women like the women I had always been serving pretty much all of my career. I couldn't imagine doing anything like completely different. Now, I will say this, starting other businesses, definitely, because I have done that. I've started other businesses that have kind of nothing to do with the beauty industry, but they're money makers. You know what I mean? And I'm becoming more passionate about them, but just learning to be a better businesswoman overall. So talk to me. Tell me about how you feel about starting over new. But is it really starting over new? Because how can you just not use any of the expertise that you've had from before and just go into something completely new? Is that possible?
It's interesting. It is possible. I will say an area that I'm super passionate about is voiceover. And knew that I was passionate years ago. However, I know you and I have spoken about this. The boldness, the confidence, the willingness to step deeper is here more present at 40. So now I'm going after that full steam ahead and have been successful in the voiceover field, which most people would say that's not connected to fitness at all. However, it's a part of the body. My entire body is an instrument. So I'm using it. Technically, I'm not abandoning my fitness career. However, I'm putting more energy there because the fitness in my company is stable. From the outside, it could look like, what in the world? Is she about to totally switch out? So those are the changes. I agree with you, developing the business more at 40, adding more skill sets to what we do, like you being a phenomenal life coach, in addition to the beauty and imaging, is still like accenting everything you do. Yet there are some people that are like, I don't want to be in the education field anymore. I would completely be an entrepreneur. And even my sister, as an example, has always been a corporate woman in leadership in corporate America and is now striking out on her own as an entrepreneur, a CEO of her own company. So those are the things. It's like at 40 and over, you get to for real do it over. And how do you do it? Is there a right way to do it? To just step out and say, I'm shifting.
Right, absolutely. Now, I'm gonna put you on the spot. So give me a second.
I'm bracing myself.
Because I want to ask the audience, I want to ask them the same thing. How many of you are actually, starting over, whether it be voluntarily or not? I know a lot of people in the beauty industry who actually decided not to go back to the chair or to the salon, but I cringe because I'm like, wait. Okay, I get it. You don't want to go back to the chair or go back to the salon at all, but wait a minute. You got so much to teach, which is why I've transitioned my business into teaching, beauty professionals and creative entrepreneurs how to digitize what they know, how to teach what they know, how to create master classes, how to make money from your knowledge, So I'm excited about that.
I already know.
Y'all, this is gonna be funny. Please pay attention and remember, chime in with that question. How do you feel about starting over? Would you start over? Are you bold enough to start over? Have you had to start over? And tell us what your experience has been like. Okay, Shanae.
All right.
I need it. Come on, give it to the audience.
So have I started over, or my way to do things differently? My program that has developed? Okay, tell me.
I want to hear some voiceover. I want you to give them some of your voices.
Okay, let's see.
Feels like a demo. What's it called? A demo reel? What do you call it?
Yes, like a demo reel. Yes. So I'll do one. Growing up, I always wanted to do animation and characters. So that's why sometimes I just wish I was outside and able to play all day long. Oh my goodness, can I play?
Well, if you really want to play, you need to focus more on what you're doing. You can't just play and not work and make any revenue. Well, sometimes it's just looking deeper inside yourself and really meditating. Oh, nobody wants to do that. Meditating.
What's meditating? I don't know. How many voices did you hear?
Like 4 or 5.
Three. Yes. Awesome.
That is hilarious to me. I have got to tap into more creative gifts.
Now, if I can tell you, I actually haven't used as much as my animation as I have voiceover and looping, which was very cool. So if I can share on the path of doing something you're passionate about, you might discover other things that you're talented in that you didn't even know. Yeah. And doors just bust wide open. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I still
cartoons. When I do that, my son is like, Bakari is like, how are you doing that?
Right.
He'll be doing it too. So yeah.
Right, like how are you turning into somebody else, Mom? Like really?
Yeah.
Cool beans. So, I've really enjoyed, I can remember going through some things that I really thought would take me out. Like, am I going to live through this? Am I going to make it? Nobody's going to do business with me anymore. Nobody is, nobody is going to trust me anymore. Nobody's going to want to work with me. I just remember going through so many ups and downs and, in business, wondering like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? But I had to remember who I was, like who I am. You're like the queen of reinventing yourself. You're always preaching, oh, you just got to reinvent yourself. You got to become somebody else. You got to dig deep. You got to do the work. So I will say, Shanae, even with you helping me and a host of amazing people around me, I really have the gifts that I would say I've tapped into would be, energy healing.
Yes.
I didn't realize that was a gift. You know, I didn't realize it was a thing. You know, changing and shifting energy, you know. Lately I've had so many requests for people wanting, you know, meditation music and custom meditations for themselves, which has helped me create a whole new business that I'm super excited about, you know. So I will say, but those seem like things that are really attached to me, but I guess they are different, you know.
Yes.
I guess they are different gifts.
They are different. If I can share as well, of course I can share. That's why I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at being brave enough to not care what outsiders perceive of new additions. And I say that speaking from my own perspective, healing as well, which is, of course, a connective side of us. There's sometimes a reservation of what will people think if now they see this side of me? Do they think I'm doing everything? Well, guess what? You're a Renaissance woman. A Renaissance woman can be an artist, a musician, a poet, a writer. You can work with your hands. You can work with your intellect. And I've always loved that energy of us as women who can do many things, and they don't have to all be out of the same pencil set. Like, I can use markers, I can use color pencils, I can use paint. And when we embrace that, you do it so well, which is why you inspire so many people around you. You embrace it. You never release your core foundation, yet you brought things in with grace and smooth transition, and just so authentically. And that's what I believe, when we can be authentic to ourselves and say, I'm doing it because I'm passionate about it. And I love it. And I can reach a totally different part of myself from doing this. And also, like, if you say, hey, I'm doing this because I just enjoy it for me. What if I only have one client in my spiritual realm and I have 100 in my fitness realm? I still am fulfilling an internal need and honoring the gift that was given to me.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I was at a video training today with one of my mastermind coaches, and one of my mastermind partners, she's an Asian lady, and we were sitting there. She's like, "Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I never told you, Cherise, but I'm like, you know, I'm really into feng shui." And I'm looking at her like, wow, okay. So I never sit outside of my power positions. And I'm like, oh, tell me more. Because I did at one time have a feng shui expert come into the salon and set things up, and it was pretty amazing. One thing I remember that she said was, I had storage over my station where I work. She's like, no, we have to move that. You're blocking everything. You're blocking your energy. I was like, oh, whoa, okay, I get it. But you know what shocked me today, with my friend in the mastermind, it was just natural to her. I was like, and the way she explained it to me, like, oh, I never sit outside of my power positions, and my power position is, you know, the north, or da 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 da. And I was like, how did you even know that? And you know, she took me to some information and gave me mine. You know,
oh, nice.
But it made sense. It was really it was parallel with what I was taught when I had the feng shui expert come into the salon. It just all made sense. But here's the thing, you know, it's all about being intentional. You know, I think a lot of us in our generation, and this is going to be good, we're going to segue into why it's important that, you know, we take advantage of this do-over time. You know, I think that the way we grew up, the way our parents raised us, because there was so much that they did not know. Okay, they were really truly winging it the best that they could, right?
Yes.
So that made us so much more mature because we were growing up with them. You know, so a lot of us were latchkey kids, and a lot of us had siblings where, you know, I was the oldest sibling, you know, of my brothers and sisters, and then I also had cousins, you know, that I had to see after. That matured you, you know. So while we had to kind of wing it, and then we grew up in our life kind of winging it, which is why some of us, and I'm not speaking for everyone, but you know, a lot of people that I can relate to, you know, we just really had to wing it through life, you know, growing up with our parents and trying to figure things out along the way. We weren't quite as intentional as we are today based on the wisdom that we have. You know, our parents did not have access to the internet, you know, so much education, you know, so we have access to everything. To be honest with you, there's no excuse for us not to know anything that we want to know and operate in it. You know, so I think that intentional living is everything now. And that's why we have the opportunity to do our do-overs after 40, you know, because that's when that real wisdom kicks in. That's when you realize that, you know what, I really don't give a damn what anyone thinks. I don't give a damn, and I'm going to ride this thing out and live it. You know, the very best. Live 365, baby.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, just really live this thing out to the best of our ability with the knowledge, the wisdom, the experiences, you know, the connections and the resources that we have. You know,
I agree. It's definitely so much more. And we've had the conversations where you almost feel, and this isn't negative, that you are blooming at a slower pace than others have. Now, you were full-blown blossom in your state, and everyone sees the success and where you are in the happiness, yet we transition. It's like, I'm actually evolving. A layer has come off, and I'm in a new chapter where 20 years, you're like, goodness, I was literally reflecting with a client yesterday over a 10-year period. And I was like, it's been a decade that we've known each other, in marriage, children, moving, houses, transition, just so many. And it was a positive reflection. That's what I was excited about. In addition to what you said, it's now that we have all these resources, how do we do it? And I still say brave and bold. It was another thing you said too. At 40, you are like, I don't care what anyone thinks. And I remember a really dear friend of mine when I was in my 30s. She was an older sister role to me. And she said, when you get in your 40s, you're not going to care the same way. And I remember like, and it's not a lack of caring. It's just, you realize what's important and what's not.
Yeah.
And everyone's opinion will leave you sitting versus standing up and charging after what you want. It's liberating to be in that confident state of 40.
Yeah, it's definitely freedom. And, you know, and I'll speak to, I remember when I was coming up on 40. Now, I consider myself a late bloomer. You know, I feel like I got a lot of things. Like, wow, I feel like I was so ahead of the game earlier, you know. In my 20s and 30s, I was so ahead of the game. One of the first entrepreneurs, you know, in my family, you know, amongst the people that I know. I felt like I really encouraged a lot of people, you know, within entrepreneurship around me. And that's how I got into the coaching. I didn't even know that's what I was doing. I was just sharing information, just giving what I knew. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea. And then one of our good friends, Stephanie, was like, Cherise, you know way too much. You have way too much information to be given away for free. You should be coaching people, teaching people. And I'm looking like, I know, they just asking questions.
Right.
Right. So, but it took me actually many years to absorb that and to take that in and realize, you know, the information that I did have, it had so much value.
Yes.
So many people that wanted and needed the information, and there were so many people that would pay me good money for it, you know.
Right.
So that's why now, while there were some years, I would say in my mid 30s, going into my 40s, early 40s, you know, there's a lot of frustration for me because I'm like, well, why am I not here already? I should already know this and I should already know that. I should have this much success, but I had so much on the front end.
Right.
It's like, we got to get this right. We got to balance this out, you know, so that you can get the information, you can articulate these things to your people properly. You know, I just think about being in my mid 30s thinking, oh, I should be married. Oh, I should be, you know, I should have children. I should be a millionaire by now. You know, but there was a lot of pressure that we put on ourselves. Then guess what? Social media, baby.
Yes.
So while we had that pressure on ourselves because of, I think, our early success, because there was a time in life when money was just flowing. When we were in our 20s,
yes,
money was nothing.
Yes.
If you were out here broke, you was like, what are you doing? You know, especially, you know, me being in you as well, you know, as an entrepreneur early in life, you know, money was just flowing, you know, beauty industry, you know, it was just flowing like crazy, but everywhere, all over the world, cash money, you know, in and through the hands, like it was nothing. We were traveling, we were shopping, we were helping people, we were doing all kind of things, you know, early on. So when things kind of started to slow up in a way, and then also this digital world came into play, I think for us, being used to working for everything, you know, whether it was, you know, just being behind that chair, going to work every day, you know, having a couple of businesses, having a couple of jobs, you know, being creative, you know, it was really difficult when you started having a market on social media. Like, what is this now?
Right.
Something that the kids that we know, the kids that we've had, you know, these young people were born in. So it's natural for them. Really, really, really natural for them. So, which is another reason why, you know, I've, you know, transitioned my business into really making sure that our 40 plus professionals, you know, entrepreneurs really understand this digital world and how to make money. Like we have to stop leaving money on the table when we have the wisdom, as much wisdom and knowledge that we have and experience. We have got to stop letting digital life,
Yes.
you know,
and let it become a barrier too. If I can add in as well, when you spoke about our level of success in our 20s and 30s was phenomenal. And then it could have possibly felt like it slowed down. Another perspective is our experience made our concept of success expand.
Yes.
So we weren't really slowing down or going backwards. We just want more now. We were wanting more, and it was happening so fast before in the 20s and 30s that change was like, oh wow, now to do this next level, I do have to operate differently. And it can no longer be MySpace and Black Planet for fun. It's for real. You need to integrate this in your business or you'll be left behind.
Or you're gonna be left behind.
You know, and I think our generation in that 40s resisted a lot, and some of us feel like we lost traction then. I know I can openly admit, I'm like, I shouldn't have to post and I shouldn't have to. Well, you don't have to, but do know that you are doing yourself a disservice. And when you embrace it and then hire someone that can be an expert in that or support you, or just same thing, the restrictions that we put on ourselves, like this is beyond me, I didn't grow up with this. It was a lot for those of us in our 40s. I think those of us who have turned the corner, we're realizing now, like, this is the way.
Yes.
Just like the cell phone, when our parents didn't want to have a cell phone and there were bag phones in the car and only a few people had them. Now it's like, you need a cell phone. Absolutely. It's a utility at this point. So yes, same thing with social media and digitizing, that it's need, and it's a tool that can help us. Yeah. As long as we can unplug. And I'm not sure if we have that in there for the 40s, still finding ways for us to unplug and enjoy time for ourselves.
Yeah. And we'll dig a little more into that. We're actually going to go into a commercial for the moment and take a little break, and then we'll come back and we'll dig a little deeper into that, because one thing that I do want to talk about while we're in this space is, how do we move forward in this digital world in our 40s successfully, and not comparing ourselves to others.
Awesome. I'm down.
Cool.
Spartans, what is your profession?
We are back with LIVE365. I'm filling in tonight for my girls Stacy J and Rob Minger. They are out in the world making moves, covering ground, treading territory. Okay, this is what we do as entrepreneurs, right? Okay, you can't be everywhere, but this is why you have people who have your back. But I have my co-host Shanae Norvell, and we're actually talking about the 40 do-over tonight. Okay. And what does, when you have to start over, or you've chosen to start over, what does that look and feel like for you? Are you still stuck in what other people think? Are you still stuck in like what other people may say, or are you free and able to move forward in your freedom, bold and brilliance, in your brilliance, because that's where we are. We're in a space of such brilliance in this time, and we have to take advantage of it. Shanae, give me a spiel about what are you feeling about as we are moving forward, doing our do-overs, and what we have to do in order to keep ourselves healthy, in order to keep our minds right, in order to, make sure that we are moving in a space of authenticity for our personal selves. And while you're doing that, I'm going to be listening, but I'm also going to check out some of this feedback over here so we can speak to the audience on Facebook.
Yes. How we keep ourselves healthy, how we keep our spirit and energy maintained as well. And you may have to recap the third one. The health, clearly for me, is not just a profession. It is truly a lifestyle. We can see from the state of the world that your health, beyond anything else, is the most valuable thing you can have. And it's not about being defined, chiseled, six-pack, lean, certain weight. It's truly, is your heart healthy? Can you walk up a flight of steps without losing your breath? Have you checked to see what your numbers are in terms of blood pressure, cholesterol? And those things do make me feel like an older person when I talk about them. However, because I've embraced them and taught that, I look like a younger person. Yeah. I see the glow that you have, the glow that we have when we're healthy on the inside. It makes you move differently. It makes you have a level of confidence. You sleep more effectively. You just feel good. So that health piece right now, I would say if someone can decrease work hours just to add in a walk outside, it's worth it. If you can make a shift and move in an area that takes you closer to the park, it's worth it. Like looking at how can I incorporate fitness in my life versus tagging it as a chore. Yeah. That's another area that I've worked through the years with clients on saying, Find something you like, dancing, swimming. Like you can dance literally to a song you like it's time for the percolator. This old school, it's time for the percolator. DJ, what we got? It's time for the percolator.
Yeah.
So any type of song, high energy, where you can dance for 4 or 5 minutes, work up a sweat, increase your heart rate, and you get an endorphin high. So you get in that feel good energy. So I know people always comment on Cherise. Cherise looks like she's never aged, and it's your energy. You take care of yourself. And even with the exercise, the water we're taking in, you don't have to restrain yourself from everything. And it is not about being a certain size. It's about feeling good as hell, like your challenges are. Feeling good, being able to move your body with ease. The other piece that is so critical, and there is another book that I'm working on. I won't share that title just yet, but the core of it is looking one way on the outside and looking another way on the inside.
Yeah.
And that's the spirit and energy. You can look fantastic on the outside. How's your spirit?
Yeah.
What's your peace of mind? Because your peace of mind can aid you or it can make you stagnant. And I know we speak side by side of, we have the gift and beauty of always being able to recover our energy, and positive energy just radiates naturally. Yet those moments when you are cluttered mentally, you lose. I've lost creativity, don't want to necessarily be out and about, and you have to have a way to reset.
Yeah.
And that's where that spiritual and internal wellness makes a difference. Meditation. Yeah. That's something you've been leading meditations. I lead it within my kinetic yoga classes, making it less complicated. Yeah. I don't know about you growing up. I didn't grow up meditating. No. I didn't know quite what it was. I remember learning about visualization, right? And it almost was made to feel like that whole realm was not what you should be doing. Exactly. Yet now in our 40s, meditating is quiet time. Yeah. Listening, and so many things, health, fitness, high blood pressure, things will say meditation decreases high blood pressure. Meditation decreases stress. So it's not just a thing or a trend. Yeah. It's truly what you need for that quiet time. And journaling, being outside, breath work. How many times during the day are you sitting and finally you go, and you didn't even realize you were holding your breath? Like those are the basic things beyond a gym and exercise and weight and muscles. It's health, wellness, mentally, physically, and spiritually, mind, body, and spirit, that become crucial in our 40s. And you can do it your own way. Yes. There's not one way to do it. You can do it your own way. Yes. Guys, I hope you all are enjoying this, and I hope you are sharing this information out. Most of all, I encourage you, to show up, captivate your audience and cash out on what you know. Okay. One thing that I have really committed myself to, Shanae, is aging backwards. Yes. And learning fast. I'm in a space where I don't want, and healing fast, learning and healing fast. I feel like I've been healing along the way, because of the work that I've been putting in. But at this point, I want it now. Absolutely. I want it now. And, that's why I feel like it's so important to create your ritual. Yes. It's important to stay focused. What is it that you are doing that, that gets you off of your game, and then you go in this down spiral? What is it that you are doing that is allowing that? How can you protect yourself from that? That's why I try to stay close, with my tribe, because I can feel them.
I feel them, and whether they know it or not, I'm always standing in the gap for them, you know, and because I know the things that we're going through, and I raise my hand as being one of the ones. I think about it a lot, you know. I'm like, I'm good, I'm okay, you know, let me just make sure everybody else is okay, you know. But when you're that person, it's so important that you have those rituals for yourself to make sure you really are okay. You know, which is why I have, you know, my feeling good as hell challenge. Like, it's so much deeper. I know a lot of people were like, feeling good as hell. I don't know about that title, but it's deeper than what you think it is. You know, like, feeling good as hell for me is everything, because days when I wasn't sure if I was going to want to get up and work, you know, want to love again, want to feel again, you know, want to live again. You know, it's like I knew that I needed to feel good. I had to fight. I had to fight for my feel good. And I'm like, if I'm here when I know my energy is through the roof. If I can feel that feeling within me, imagine the people who don't quite have the energy level that I have, you know, who don't quite have that self-motivation to pull themselves up out. And let's be real about it, who don't have the chemical. Because I have a client, a brilliant client, who is bipolar. And when she broke it down to me and explained to me, I don't have the chemical. When I go up or when I go down, I don't have the chemical in me to pull myself back. You know, that's why I have to stay balanced. When she explained that thing to me like that, it just made so much sense. You know, when it comes to emotion, period. You know, you have to do everything that you can to be in emotional control. But what about the ones who don't have that emotional control? They can. They can. You just have to do another level of work. You owe it to yourself to take yourself to another level of work. And also, you know, make sure your tribe, you know, make sure you're always connected to your core tribe, because, you know, I pride myself in my core tribe being tight. Yes. Because like I said, whether they know it or not, I'm always standing in the gap for them. And sometimes it's like, you know, you got to let them kind of marinate a little bit in some things so that they can learn. You can't always, it's like with children, you can't always go grab somebody up out of the mud. Sometimes you got to let them waddle a little bit and then let them learn their lesson, and then come back, you know, and help stand them up straight and kind of explain, like, look, you know, this is why. But I always know that I got you. I'm here. Don't ever forget that I'm here for you. Just don't forget that. But, you know, I really, really pride myself in aging backwards, being in emotional control, and getting what I want fast. You know, that's something that that's something new that I had to kind of move into, you know, that quantum leaping, and that, no, you can have it, and you can have it now. Get your mind right, get your body right, get your soul right, line yourself up. It's called alignment. Okay. And any day, alignment is more powerful than any amount of work that you can do. But that's what's so hard for people to do, is get themselves aligned. You know?
I agree. And when you said, I want it now, I feel like that's etched in my head, because it's like, no more playtime. Not even 15 more minutes on this, wanting it now, and saying, it's okay to want it now.
It's okay.
There's been levels and times where we may have been conditioned or programmed to think you have to work hard. I was in a training. I'm certified as a hypnotist and in neuro-linguistic programming. And part of our training is the thought of people want a hard button instead of an easy button. They're like, no, let me do it the hard way and let me show everybody how hard I work. No, I want to show you that just like that, I transitioned. I manifested that. I'm now in alignment, and it's reprogramming our subconscious that makes that difference. And it does not have to take 10 more years.
Right.
It can be that mindset. And when you spoke about that client, that chemical piece, that touched my soul, because you can be made to feel that something is not right, yet she has learned, this is just my makeup and this is what I know. And now that I know, I'm empowered to say, when this doesn't switch this way, what tools that I have to put in place. That's liberation. Like that's probably my power word the last few days, is feeling liberated, feeling free, because you gain the knowledge, you gain it fast, no shame with it. Give that transparency and say, okay, I'm ready to shift and I can have it and I deserve it.
Yeah.
The 40s, we deserve it.
You deserve it. You deserve it no matter what. No matter what you've been through, no matter what you've done, you have to first forgive yourself, you know, for whatever it is, because we carry a whole bunch of mess that doesn't belong to us anyway. You know, you just carry crap. First of all, we don't even want to go into the ancestral stuff that doesn't belong to us. That's a whole other conversation. But, you know, just the things that, the negativity that we intake. And unfortunately, some of the things that as we were growing up that was instilled in us, it just were not true. You know, just were not true. We have to literally unlearn so much with due respect, because like I said, our parents and grandparents did the very best that they could. They did not have what we have today. So that's why there's no excuse. And one thing you said about, you know, some key words, reprogramming.
Yeah.
We in our 40s have to realize that we have a lot of reprogramming to do. But it's okay, because believe it or not, it's a lot of people out here that are hearing it, like they're waking up to it and realizing like, oh, okay, that worked then, but it has no place here anymore.
Right.
It has no place in this realm that I am, and it absolutely has no place where I'm going.
Correct.
You have to be okay with that. Don't stay stuck. Be okay with change. Surround yourself with people who are willing to change and walk the walk with you. We don't know. We have no idea what we're doing, what we're walking into. But the thing that you have to know and realize is that we're going to be okay. And we are in this thing together. You know, surround yourself with like-minded people who, you know, no naysayers, who are looking at you like, what, huh? What? No, at least be open-minded, you know? And you know me, you know my motto, open to everything and attached
to nothing.
And attached to not one thing, because nothing is guaranteed.
Yes.
Absolutely nothing. Our lives, our next breath is not guaranteed. So you just have to be open to anything could happen any day. And how can I breathe through this thing and live through this thing? Because I have to live through it. You know, you were also talking about the deep breathing. I believe wholeheartedly in breathing deep. Even if you can't find yourself to get up and exercise, if you can't find the strength or the motivation to get up and exercise, wake up, stretch, and breathe deep. Start there. It's okay, because I understand we are in our 40s. Some of us gain weight. Some of us get depressed about many things, you know, that are happening to us in life that we think shouldn't be. You know, we should be in a different space. But, you know, if you can't find enough strength to get up and work out or walk, at least breathe deep, because you can breathe. Okay, so we are going to go into a commercial. It's commercial time. We got to pay these bills, baby. Yes, and we'll continue our conversation when we come back.
What would you do if I said this little thing is about to change the way you date and meet other singles forever? Say you're talking to someone at an event. You're getting along, they're cute as hell, but you've been here before and you don't want to waste time on someone who looks good without knowing if at least they're your type. And just as importantly, worth your time. So you take out your dating card, touch it against their phone, and boom. It takes them to a profile of your love type. They see a breakdown of who you are, which love types you're compatible with, and then they can enter their information to get analyzed to see if they are one of your compatible types. Then within just 24 hours, you both get the same report revealing not only if you're compatible types, but how compatible. This is the matchmaker in your pocket, the conversation starter in your purse, and the deal closer in your hand.
Are back. Thank you so much for joining us. I am filling in today with LIVE365 Radio. I'm filling in for my girls Stacey J and Rob Minger. Out there with King Yahweh in the NFL, can I say we are making major moves in this COVID, in this pandemic? I'm going to need these people to know this is not a time of lack. This is a time of prosperity and abundance, baby. And I hope that you have the mindset to know that and see that, okay? You may be going through some things in life, but you know what? I want you to look at it as the cup, half full and not half empty, because there's so much that you have, okay? So much that you have to share, so much that you have in life that I know some of it may feel crazy, but those experiences were for you to share with other people and walk people through. Shanae, baby, where you at?
Hey,
where you at?
You know, you hit the nail on the head. Those things that happened didn't happen to you, they happened for you. Mm-hmm. This pandemic, even though it is not what we want, some things that happened that we did not desire, there's been a lot of liberation.
So much liberation.
Freedom of mind. And of course, with my field of fitness, people now know they can work out at home. They don't need a gym. You may desire a gym, but you can still thrive. You mentioned living and surviving. We can thrive during this time as long as we're willing to be a little uncomfortable as we seek and reach out toward what we desire. And think, is it going to be more uncomfortable if I stay where I am or if I attempt to go where I desire to go? Does that make sense? It's in that level. And because the thought is, what if I fail? You won't, because the attempt of doing it meant you didn't fail. You tried. If you don't try, you absolutely won't know how you do. And I say it because I have done that too. And now it's the time for us to thrive and to embrace. You talked earlier before the break, having the tribe around you, not having naysayers. Also, being able to release those things, people, events, attachments that no longer serve you, and request that those things are released with grace, meaning that it's not abrupt, it's not abrasive, but sometimes you need someone to say, hey, Nay, you might need to reevaluate that. Yeah. Or for someone to not agree with what you're doing. And maybe this new breath of fresh air, a person that you just met, you're like, how am I resonating with this person like she's a sister greater than a 10-year person? It's not a bad thing. There are going to be new breaths of air that come into our life for a good reason and for us to embrace that. And last, having the discernment to know when to shift and when not, when to release and when to hold on, or to know how much to do with it. So that allowing ourselves to reflect. I know you and I were speaking this a lot in the beginning of the pandemic. Permission to pause. Being okay with not going 24/7. Or I can sleep when I die, quote unquote. No, you don't want to sleep right now. And it's okay, because guess what? Ancestors may have some messages for you while you sleep. You may get this refreshment or this vision while you sleep. Like even if it's theoretically or physically, it's okay for us to slow down, because it may give you the momentum to speed up. It's just our perspective. Shifting all of it. It's amazing.
You know, I've spoke so much about, clarity, alignment, strategizing,
Yes.
having a heart and, healing, having a heart to do the things that you want to do, the things that you desire, and then embracing the healing. The healing that you need. We all need healing. A lot of us aren't willing to admit it, but this is a time, it was such a time of healing. Like, it's almost like we were kind of split open, because sometimes you need to be split open. I had read something so powerful when I was during the pandemic about being dismantled. And that word really resonated with me. I was like, I'm being dismantled. Like, I really am. I was like, I am really truly being dismantled, but it was like surrendering. This time, go ahead and dismantle me. Dismantle me all that I need. I don't even want to be the same. I don't even want to be recognizable. I want to be a walking reintroduction. You know what I'm saying? A walking reinvention. Don't even approach me the same.
Yes.
Don't even look at me the same. Don't even think that you can have the same conversations with me, because you cannot.
And to be able to say exactly that, Cherise, it seems like you've changed. I have.
I have changed.
I have. I'm not. Your energy is different. It is. It is, and you want it to be. And
yeah. And
go ahead.
Well, I will say this. It's automatic. You don't have to really work that hard. Like when you change your energy, when you shift your energy, when you shift your entire being, either they can hang or they can't.
Yes.
I have this post that I put up. When I stopped hustling and started aligning, I watched all the blocks start just falling off.
Yeah.
So it was so important to, the alignment was everything. And we were forced to align ourselves, to do the work, and I pray that a lot of people got that out of it, or even if it wasn't that wasn't what they needed to get out of this time that we had, to sit down and, have permission to pause. I hope that they got whatever it was that they needed at the time. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we are about at the end of the show. I am excited. I'm honored to be able to have my girls back on LIVE365 radio. This is truly exciting, because one thing I will say, when there's something that you want, the way that you can look forward to getting that thing is help someone else do the same, and even desire it, So as I've, been doing a segment on Thursdays, one Thursday a month with her, it has really opened up, my mind as far as doing my podcast and my YouTube. And I'm like, I can do it. I'm going to do it. She's really taking my confidence to another level. I'm excited about that. Just supporting her has done that. So, you know what? Go out and help someone do that thing. The person that you see doing it well, go out and help them and assist them, and see what it does for you. Rod and Stacy will be back next Thursday. And of course, I don't know what they'll be talking about, but it'll be something fire. It'll be something good, something motivating, something for the world to grow from, because they are just such positive people. And I have a message to self from Stacy J. All right, so tune in and listen, guys. Listen closely. My life path has an immersed purpose that is much bigger than me. The things that I do, the little things, they touch the hearts of those I don't even know. I'm heading in an exciting direction, and what surrounds me now is nothing short of beautiful and breathtaking. Oh, I am blessed. Oh my gosh. You are blessed, Stacey J. And so are all of you so blessed. And I hope you know that, and I hope you recognize that. Please support Live365 Radio. Follow, like, and share. It is at Live365 Radio on Facebook and Instagram. Shanae, I'd like to thank you so much for hosting with me tonight. It's a lot of fun. And you guys have a good night's rest.
Have a great night's rest.
Get you some deep breathing on. And we will
get some stretching on too. Stretch and move your body.
On too. All right. Thank you guys for showing up. I will see you soon. Take care.